Well, not all is stopped in the model train department. I've got center beam flats washing in there, and I've got 29,000 gallon tank cars being printed. This thing gives me a heck of a lot of detail. Believe it or not, all of this is costing me 50 cents for 12, 75 cents for 18 cars. It is barely any money whatsoever except for the investment on the printers, and that thing had a heck of a learning curve for me. I'm not saying that this is going to turn out any good either, but they're not going to be perfect models, but they're going to be real good representations. The only thing they need after is couplers and trucks. I do have a couple of these 2 bays left. These printed, but the print really didn't come out too good, so I just kind of junked them. Plus it was after I switched to 3 bay hoppers to take up more space. But I no longer print them like this. I now print them where the brake wheel's facing down like this. So this is now the bottom, and the brake wheel detail kind of got fudged there. That gives me 6 at a time off of 1 build plate. I probably could do 8 off of 1 build plate, but right now I'm looking for quantity because I've got a lot of spots to fill. And center beam flat cars for lumber is always better than trying to ship them in a box car, because you can actually see the load. I do have loads to print too, but I have not started to print those yet. This one here, let's see if you can see the time. 17 hours to print 6 cars. Really, the only thing it's costing me is time. Time's something I got plenty of. So by bedtime tonight, that'll be coming off and getting washed. Then I'll be printing more of my 3 bay hoppers. So yeah, that's how I'm doing it on the cheap. I do have a heater in there now because I realized that heat was actually kind of important. It's got to be at least over 73.4 degrees to print correctly every time. So yeah, once done, all I got to do is remove the spurs, those little supports that they call them. Just call them sprues. That's pretty much all they are. They just hold it steady until it cures. And that's it. A little bit of filing, a little bit of sanding. This is supposed to be a camera car, but because of the way I printed it, kind of bubbled here. So that needs to be all sanded back down. But that should actually work quite nicely with the couplers and trucks put on it. And that'll be a nice new camera car for one of those sugar cube cameras. It's fairly easy to do. You just get the files offline. I get 90% of mine from Thingiverse. I just wish somebody would produce a 4 bay hopper. And if it gets to the point where my layout's full, I'm going to actually start selling some of these. Make a little extra cash. Because once I put couplers and trucks on them, with Micro Trains couplers and trucks now being $60 for a 10-pack, you're looking at approximately $6-7 a car once everything's said and done. So you can sell them for 10 at a train show and make a good bit of money. I've not been able to reproduce super fine stuff like people yet, but I'm working on it. I'll figure it out. Have a good one. Well, this is it. Yeah. This is what my center beams look like. Go on, get it. Not that bad, huh? Well, it even comes with a lot of underside details, which is pretty much the way that hobby shops hobby companies used to do. You used to get model trains like this with a little bit of detail, but not much, as kits or whatever. Granted, I need to add a lot of weight to these, and I gotta file a lot of things to make them look nice. But they're 72-foot center beam flat cars. They look just fine for me for stand-ins till I can afford to buy the actual ones that I want. And these cost me about 50 cents for all of them. Bottle of resin's about 25-30 bucks, and I could print a lot more of these. So that's 50 cents. For 50 cents a car, I think that's pretty daggone good looking cars. Have a good one.